The Galactic Empire, a sprawling coalition of thousands of alien species, faced its greatest challenge yet. For centuries, their dominance was unshaken. Technological marvels, vast fleets, and advanced bioengineering made them untouchable. But now an insurmountable threat loomed. A forbidden planet, labeled Zeroth 7, held an artifact of unimaginable power, one that could stabilize the Empire's crumbling energy matrix. The catch? The planet itself was a death trap. Zeroth 7 was a nightmare world. Its atmosphere corroded standard exosuits in minutes. The surface teemed with apex predators immune to conventional weaponry, and gravity anomalies made movement erratic. Dozens of missions had been sent. None returned. Even the Empire's most elite species, beings with adaptive physiology, neural-linked weaponry, and centuries of experience, had perished. Desperation led the Empire to an unusual decision. They issued an open call to every species in their dominion. The deadliest job in the galaxy, unparalleled rewards, and the slimmest chance of survival. Success meant enough wealth to rival planetary monarchs. Failure meant certain death. It was a gamble few were expected to take. When the call went out, initial responses were, as anticipated, muted. Species known for their bravery hesitated. Fearless mercenary guilds declined, and even the genetically enhanced warriors of the Zovarn Council refused. This was a mission for the suicidal, the foolish, or the utterly desperate. The Empire's recruiters braced for silence. Then the humans arrived. Humanity, a species newly integrated into the Empire, was an enigma. Their homeworld was considered unremarkable, a standard class for planet with moderate resources and a temperate climate. Yet their reputation had already begun to spread. They were persistent, adaptable, and, by galactic standards, utterly reckless. The humans didn't just trickle into recruitment offices, they stormed them. Aliens watched in disbelief as the humans lined up, seemingly unfazed by the grim warnings plastered on holographic displays. Immediate disintegration, one caution read. 73% fatality rate in the first hour, declared another. The humans didn't flinch. Instead, they smiled, cracked jokes, and swapped stories about their previous close calls with death. Are they defective? An insectoid recruiter whispered to her colleague. No, replied another, a reptilian supervisor. They're insane. Despite the skepticism, the Empire couldn't ignore the numbers. Tens of thousands of humans applied, far outpacing any other species. When questioned about their motives, the answers were bewildering. For the challenge. It sounds fun. I've been bored lately. The reward's nice, but honestly, I just want to see if I can do it. To the logical, risk-averse minds of the galactic elite, this behavior was incomprehensible. Why would a species willingly embrace almost certain death? Theories abounded. Some believed humans were too primitive to grasp the mission's danger. Others thought their biological composition made them immune to fear. A few suggested they were simply too stubborn to admit defeat. But behind the jokes and bravado, there was something deeper. Humanity had spent millennia thriving in hostile environments, solving impossible problems, and pushing limits no other species dared to approach. To them, the Forbidden Planet wasn't just a death trap. It was a challenge waiting to be conquered. The training program for the mission to Zeroth 7 was brutal, designed by the Empire's top strategists to prepare recruits for the planet's merciless environment. It had been tailored for the galaxy's strongest species, physically superior beings with decades of combat experience and highly advanced biological adaptations. Humans, by all accounts, shouldn't have lasted a day. Yet they did. From the moment the humans arrived, the alien instructors were baffled. The recruits were wildly uncoordinated at first. They stumbled in zero-gravity drills, struggled with the Empire's advanced weaponry, and lacked the natural abilities many alien species took for granted. But what humans lacked in raw strength or precision, they made up for with something far more valuable: their relentless drive. Failures were met not with frustration, but with laughter and determination. When a group of humans repeatedly failed a survival exercise in a simulated acid storm, they didn't give up. Instead, they analyzed their mistakes, adjusted their strategies, and experimented with unorthodox solutions. By the end of the week, they were outperforming species that had been training for years. Instructors quickly realized that humans approached problems differently. Where most species relied on rigid, methodical strategies, humans thrived on improvisation. They didn't just follow orders. They questioned them, debated alternatives, and found loopholes that no one else noticed. When a complex obstacle course designed to test endurance left other recruits collapsed in exhaustion, the humans rigged a pulley system to bypass half the course. The alien trainers were outraged at first, but even they had to admit it was clever. Beyond their ingenuity, humans demonstrated a sense of camaraderie that was entirely unique. During a simulated mission, a human recruit dislocated his shoulder after being thrown by a gravity anomaly. Instead of leaving him behind to secure their objective, the rest of the team refused to move forward without him. They worked together to fashion a makeshift sling from their gear, carried him across the simulation, and still managed to complete the mission in record time. "Why did you waste time helping him?" an alien supervisor demanded afterward, incredulous. The objective was all that mattered. One of the humans grinned and shrugged. "If we don't have each other's backs, we're already dead." It wasn't just their teamwork that set them apart. Humans approached danger with an almost unsettling level of humor. Where other recruits remained silent and tense during drills, humans cracked jokes, bantered, and made light of even the most harrowing scenarios. An instructor once asked a human why they weren't afraid of dying. The response was simple: "We've been staring death in the face since we figured out how to make fire. What's one more challenge?" As the training progressed, the humans began to earn the grudging respect of their alien peers. They weren't the strongest or the fastest, but they were the most resourceful. Where others hesitated, they acted. Where others faltered, they adapted. By the end of the program, it was clear: if any species had a chance of surviving Zeroth 7, it was the one that refused to quit.
The transport ship shuddered violently as it descended through Zeroth 7's atmosphere. The humans aboard clung to their harnesses, their faces lit by flickering red warning lights. Outside, the planet's chaotic weather raged, a maelstrom of acidic rain, lightning storms, and hurricane-force winds that tore apart anything unprepared. Alien-designed navigation systems failed within minutes, forcing the humans to rely on old-fashioned piloting instincts. It wasn't smooth, but it worked. They landed in one piece, though barely. The surface of Zeroth 7 was worse than they had imagined. The ground was jagged and uneven, coated with a metallic sheen that reflected the stormy skies above. Pools of acid hissed and bubbled, sending up noxious fumes that threatened to overwhelm their rebreathers. Predators, their massive forms barely visible through the mist, stalked in the distance. The gravity anomalies made every step unpredictable, with sudden shifts pulling them upward or slamming them back down. Within the first hour, their alien equipment began to fail. Advanced scanners malfunctioned, their high-tech weapons jammed, and protective suits started to corrode. For most species, this would have been the end. But the humans didn't panic. "All right," their team leader said, scanning the group. "Plan B. Everyone check your kits. We'll improvise." Improvisation was what humans excelled at. They stripped down their malfunctioning gear, salvaging what they could. When their alien weapons proved unreliable, they constructed makeshift tools from spare parts. A broken scanner became a rudimentary detector for electromagnetic fields, and a damaged exosuit was repurposed into a protective shield. Their first encounter with the planet's predators came soon after. A creature the size of a tank, all teeth and claws, burst from the mist, its roar echoing across the wasteland. The humans didn't have firepower to match it, but they didn't need it. Instead of engaging directly, they set a trap. Using bait fashioned from discarded rations and a few clever decoys, they lured the creature into an acid pool. The humans watched from a safe distance as it thrashed and sank, defeated not by brute force but by ingenuity. The journey to the artifact's location was a series of escalating challenges. A gravity anomaly split the team, with half being flung across a chasm. They used grappling hooks improvised from their damaged equipment to reunite, a process that took hours but showcased their resilience. When acid rain destroyed their navigational markers, they switched to mapping the terrain manually, using simple tools and their wits to stay on course. Finally, they reached the cavern where the artifact was hidden. The entrance was guarded by an energy barrier, a defense that had thwarted every previous attempt. Alien-designed bypass tools failed immediately, shorting out as soon as they made contact. The humans, undeterred, approached the problem differently. They noticed subtle patterns in the barrier's fluctuations, realizing it was reacting to specific energy signatures. With nothing more than a portable power cell and sheer trial and error, they adjusted the frequency until the barrier dissipated. It wasn't elegant, but it worked. Inside, the artifact radiated a faint, otherworldly glow, surrounded by a maze of traps. Each obstacle tested the humans' patience and creativity, but one by one they overcame them. When the artifact was finally secured, the team leader let out a breathless laugh. I guess they were right. This really was impossible. But the mission wasn't over. As they exited the cavern, the planet itself seemed to rebel, with gravity spikes and storms intensifying. One human stayed behind to manually stabilize the artifact's containment field, sacrificing their chance to escape so the rest could succeed. It was a grim moment, but they honored it by surviving. When the team reached the extraction point, battered but alive, they carried more than just the artifact. They carried proof of what humanity could achieve. The humans returned to the Galactic Empire's command center battered, exhausted, and victorious. Their transport ship, scorched and barely functional, limped into the docking bay. Waiting for them was an assembly of alien officials, scientists, and military leaders, none of whom expected to see the humans again. As the ramp lowered and the artifact was revealed, glowing faintly in its containment unit, the crowd erupted into stunned silence. What? How? An alien bureaucrat stammered, stepping forward to inspect the artifact. His compound eyes flickered as he tried to comprehend what he was seeing. The humans, despite their obvious injuries and fatigue, grinned. One of them leaned casually against the artifact's container. We're just built different, he quipped, earning confused looks from the assembled aliens. Debriefings began immediately. Alien officials demanded every detail of the mission: how the humans had survived where others failed, how they had bypassed technology with scrap and ingenuity, and how they had even dared to attempt the impossible. The humans explained their methods plainly, but the aliens struggled to grasp the mindset behind them. You risked everything, one scientist said, exasperated. For what? Glory? Well, the odds were so heavily against you. It wasn't about the odds, a human replied. It was about proving we could. And yeah, the paycheck doesn't hurt either. The artifact, now safely in the Empire's hands, would stabilize their energy matrix and prevent a catastrophic collapse of their infrastructure. It was hailed as the most significant recovery operation in centuries, and the humans were at the center of it. Alien news networks began broadcasting the story across the galaxy. Footage of the humans on Zeroth 7, gritty, raw, and unfiltered, spread like wildfire. For many species, it was their first real glimpse into what made humanity unique. The humans weren't just survivors, they were innovators, problem solvers, and above all, risk-takers. Their success sparked debates across the Empire. Some species viewed them as reckless and unpredictable. They're dangerous, one commentator said on an interstellar news panel. A species that throws itself into suicidal situations without hesitation is a threat to everyone around them. But others saw humanity in a different light. They've proven something we all forgot, an elder statesman from the Cerathian clans argued. That sometimes, the most improbable solution is the one that works. We dismissed them as primitive and they outdid us all. For the humans, however, the mission wasn't about proving anything to the galaxy. They celebrated quietly, raising toasts to their fallen teammate and sharing stories of their harrowing experiences. Their success was bittersweet, but it reaffirmed something they had always known: humanity thrived in adversity. The Galactic Empire, now more intrigued than ever, began to re-evaluate its stance on humans. Offers for high-risk missions poured in, each promising rewards that made even the wealthiest citizens envious. Humanity's reputation as the galaxy's most resourceful and daring species was cemented almost overnight. As the humans prepared for their next challenge, one alien official shook his head in disbelief. You do realize these jobs are meant to scare people away, right? Maybe, one human said with a shrug. But where's the fun in that? The humans walked away, laughing among themselves, leaving the rest of the galaxy to wonder what they would conquer next.